After returning to practice this week, reports are coming out of training camp that yesterday was Justin Herbert's best practice that maybe he has ever had in his career, and that is the best that he has looked in his career. And it wasn't just one reporter saying this, because if it was, I would have just kind of brushed it off, but it wasn't even just a player or a coach. It was literally everybody who was at practice. All of the reporters, the coaches, and the players were all giving him props for having a really good day at practice. And the general consensus was that he was amazing.
Not a better thing for us defensively than having Justin on our team. I mean, he's elite of the elite, and so it makes everybody better. I mean, he is unbelievable, and he's as good as it gets in this league. His arm talent, his ability to process, he can move, so he's I think he has a chance to have a magical year for us.
You guys hear that? Justin Herbert has the potential to have a magical year. That is coming from our defensive coordinator. So let's just go ahead and break down his day. In total, Justin Herbert completed 25 out of his 29 passes in practice yesterday. And it seems like a lot of the action in team drills, it was focused on like third downs, because it seems like every single one of these throws that he completed was on a third down. He threw a ball to Quentin Johnston to convert a 3rd and 12, had a 40-yard pass to Joshua Palmer on a 3rd and 10. Those are two big conversions, 3rd and long, and he also had pressure coming in his face on that Josh Palmer throw, apparently, from Frank Ginda, the new signing at linebacker. 3rd and 8, he converted to Donald Parham. 3rd and 7, threw it to Luke Benson, the undrafted free agent tight end. So those are two more conversions on 3rd and long to tight ends. And you notice how every single one of these conversions has been to a different player so far. He is so good spreading the ball around on offense, and it really opens up the entire field when you have a quarterback that can just progress through his reads properly and not freak out in the pocket. Even when it's a clean pocket, a guy like Easton Stick, he does that, but also he can throw the ball. Justin Herbert can throw the ball to any spot on the field, so that opens up the playbook and the field. So Greg Roman and Jim Harbaugh are probably just like salivating right now, thinking about the diversity of plays and formations that they can use literally at any point in the field. And there was another 3rd down period in team drills where he threw 2 first downs to Simi Fehoko, 1st down conversion of Quentin Johnston and Joshua Palmer yet again, which made them 4 for 4 on 3rd down conversions in that second team period. And then in the next team period, focused on 3rd downs as well, he was perfect with 2 conversions to Brenden Rice, and then 1 each for Quentin Johnston and Joshua Palmer. But let me talk about Simi Fehoko really quick, because he might be a sleeper to make this roster over somebody like Brenden Rice, because of the amount of playing time that Simi Fehoko has been getting, and he's really made the most of it. Like, I'd like for Brenden Rice to make this roster because he has been productive as well, and I think the ceiling for Brenden Rice is going to be so much higher because he's also younger, 22 years old, but Simi Fehoko, he's still a young player. He's only 24, and he's been blocking and catching well so far in the preseason and in the practices. Like Simi Fehoko, he is a big-bodied wide receiver, like kind of the big-bodied slot wide receiver, similar to Tyler Boyd. That's his role in this offense. And Brenden Rice, he's not that. He's been used almost exclusively on the outside so far, so they do play different roles, even though they're both wide receivers in this offense. But if Simi Fehoko makes this roster, I think the Chargers, they could keep both of these guys on the final 53. I don't think they'd be forced to make a decision, either Brenden Rice or Simi Fehoko. They would just need to have 7 wide receivers, which is not a crazy thing. A lot of teams do have 7 wide receivers on their final 53. Although I think that would mean, though, that Cornelius Johnson gets cut, and I would imagine that he could easily clear waivers, get back on this team by signing to the practice squad. But if you cut either Simi Fehoko or Brenden Rice, I think it's way more likely that another team claims them and the Chargers lose out on one of those 3 wide receivers. But yeah, man, Simi Fehoko, he had an elite grade against the Rams last week, and he's another one of those guys that is just like sneakily making a case for himself to make this final 53. And Ladd McConkey is another one of those wide receivers that was getting in on the action yesterday. I mean, everybody was eating yesterday because Justin Herbert was throwing so well, and he talked about how good Justin Herbert was in the interview and how he makes everybody around him better. But the wide receiver that really shined yesterday was actually Quentin Johnston. And Quentin Johnston, I just feel, look, man, it's been up and down so far in the preseason. I think we can all admit that, and, training camp as well. It seems like one day he looks amazing, and then another day he has a couple drops. But yesterday was one of those days where he looked amazing. He had 8 catches. And this is one of those catches. This is just one-on-one drills. Christian Fulton against Quentin Johnston. Going up high, making that catch, making sure he's getting both feet in bounds. And if I just go back, look at how this ball is in the air, and you see he plucks it with one hand like that. Freeze frame right here, bro. Can we all appreciate this? And then he kind of bobbles it a little, brings it into his body, and can we see these feet getting down? Looks like 1, 2. Oh, I don't know, man. It looks like that right foot may have been down prior to. It's just tough to see because Christian Fulton's in the way, but it looks like he kind of maybe slid that foot in bounds. I don't know for sure, man. Now that I'm looking back at this, oh, it looks like he's in though. I don't know. What do you guys think? Is that right foot in bounds? It's tough to tell because right here, it's just like the depth of field. You can't really see. But either way, I'm liking Quentin Johnston going up with one hand like that over Christian Fulton, who's probably our best cornerback. Let's be honest. He's been playing really well in training camp. But I like that, you know, just a look of Quentin Johnston doing that. And then, oh, it's so close. I don't know for sure. Now, lastly, JT Woods has been getting some significant looks at outside cornerback recently, and here is what Jesse Minter had to say about him.
He's got length, size, speed, coverage ability. I think when you do stuff like that, it's for multiple reasons. It's to increase his value, see if that's maybe a good fit for him. I also think it'll make him better, and you know, maybe a safety role as well, his coverage ability. So I'm just excited about the way he's developed as a man cover guy, and I think that there's a multitude of ways we could try to use that down the road to help.
Now, I love this idea of putting JT Woods out there at the outside cornerback spot because he's got the size and the speed that you want in that corner spot. And the Chargers, they don't really have a ton of guys that have the intangibles to play on the outside. JT, he just needs to play like more under control and tackle better, obviously, and he could make that transition to cornerback and become a better cornerback than he was a safety, I think. This just feels like one of those moves, though, where they have an athlete, you know, that they really like, but they just need to find a position for him where he can fit in and play well and use his strengths, because the one that he was playing at, which was safety, isn't really working out too well, which, you know, honestly, I think that's a great sign for both JT Woods and the coaches, because for JT Woods, it gives him another route to make this roster in a spot that maybe he would be better suited to play. And then also it shows that the coaches, they're not going to blindly force him to do what he can't do. So they're trying to change positions to give him a better route to make this roster. It's good for both of these guys, and Brandon Staley would never. And if you did not see my video yesterday, I did a full breakdown on Daiyan Henley against the Rams.